Hello, my name is Vic Harris, and thanks for watching this review of the S3 and the new S5 follow focus for Lensse. Let's get right into this. So one of the first concerns a lot of people had were the knobs. The knobs are just horrible. These little guys right here, this guy down here, and especially this far one over here that tightens the rail block down to the rods. You pretty much have to have an Allen key, which they provide. I know a few people had a really hard time even getting their fingers in there. I could sort of, but you pretty much have to have the Allen key to unloosen everything and take it apart. And I for one, just don't want to carry around an extra tool like this on set. I'm going to lose it in a minute. This one down here, impossible to do anything with. And when you're trying to tighten it down to the rail blocks, which it didn't really do that well at first, it's just a pain in the ass. This guy down here, they just don't work that well. And you know, no problem with the Allen key, but I don't want to carry this around on set. I know some people reported zero backlash, but not my unit. Let's see if we can see it from here. Let's see. Here's the backlash I was talking about. Let's see, I'll try to do it with the other wheel. So yeah, you can see there's a little bit in there. I know a lot of professional follow focuses even have some backlash. Some ones that are beat up from Hollywood camera I've seen. You know, there's a little bit in there, but yeah, see there it's kind of bad. It's just a variable kind of thing. Where we're just being picky, but the manufacturer addressed all these concerns, and yeah, see that's pretty bad right there, especially with the other wheel. Yeah, here's the other wheel. That's moving back and forth, and the 42 teeth gear is not moving at all. Now we have a little bit of knocking in there. That's the last thing your sound guy is going to want to hear on set every time your AC tries to pull focus. Yeah, not good. So there's just something loose in there. It's not quite locking down how it needs to be. Another problem I had with the S3 unit was the tension was different with every lens I used. Not meaning that like the tension inside, but it would react differently. Sometimes I would go to pull focus and it would start binding up in times. And other lenses, it works just fine. Let's see what we have going on here with the Sigma. You see now it seems to be completely okay. It just seemed a little temperamental, whereas the S5 works the same every time you pull focus. These are small manufacturing defects here, but once you put one on top of each other, you know, if you're running an hour or two behind the day, it's not something you want to deal with. And especially this little wrench, this little guy. Oh. A couple nice improvements here. For one, they've changed all these knobs over to these nifty, I believe, steel ones that are really easy to grab onto, as opposed to the ones we saw earlier. They also added the tension adjustment knob right here, which works pretty well. I don't really find I need it on any of my lenses, so I just kind of leave it loose the entire time. Over here again is one of the new knobs. We also have one down here. Now I know on the first one, a few people, myself and Frank, we were having a hard time actually tightening the whole unit down on the rig. And now with this one, you're actually able to loosen it by hand and tighten it by hand, and it locks down now. It was impossible to do that before. So that is a great correction they made right there. Now what we'll go on to is going to be backlash for the whole unit, including the knob, to the gear, to the actual gear on the lens. So let's see here, let me make sure the camera's locked down 100%, and hopefully you guys can see from all the way over to the lens how there's pretty much zero backlash. Like, the knob's not turning at all right now. And it's, I mean, It's dead on. And if we want to get a closer look at these little knobs to see how easy they are to take on and take off, to pull off these, I mean, you just barely do anything and they come right out. Pop it in, just a couple turns, lock back down. Everything now is really easy to unscrew with all these new knobs. I mean, it's whoever came up with this idea as opposed to the old ones, just great idea, guys. It was a great adjustment. And another problem some of us had was the tightening knob for the rail block. Now it's just like a simple quarter. It's loose here, and as soon as you go a quarter turn either way, it tightens it back down again. So set it, clamp it, right in. It's just so simple and so easy. It's another great improvement on this, and I commend these guys big time for listening to our feedback and re-engineering this stuff really quickly. I'm not sure if anybody noticed before how the other gear was made, but these they've reinforced with steel in the middle now. Once again, one of these easy adjustment knobs, and it just comes right off. Another thing on my first unit was I could never get a smooth pull all the way around. Somewhere inside the main housing there was binding, so at some point it would really start to catch, and if you were trying to do a slow pull, you probably have some jumps or something there. This one, completely fixed. To put this thing together, it goes on really simple. Rail block, getting an idea of where it's supposed to go. I'm sure we'll need to change it. Let's see. Throw this guy on. We're kind of dead on. We got lucky. Okay, tighten the rail block down. Might as well tighten this guy down. Number one. And the far side. So here are the two fellow focuses side by side, the S3 on top and the new S5 on the bottom. As you can see, the S5 is a lot shorter. These are the new additions, these great knobs here as opposed to these horrible plastic ones. The hard stops are in different sizes. It's just the way I had them configured right now. You can have either knob on either side of the unit, doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of using them as kickstands right now to hold them up, to show you guys the difference. You can obviously see the difference in the gears. This one's engineered so much better. One thing I didn't realize at first, it seems they've re-engineered the gearboxes. I don't know if you can see, they are completely different. So I'm sure that has to do with the addition of the tension knob, but whatever they did, it is a lot better and much more fluid. What they've also updated is the way the knob goes into the unit and seats in there. This is the old way with some teeth on it, and they've updated it. You probably really can't see it, where there's bushings and stuff inside, and inside the actual unit there's a male adapter that slides into the female adapter. Here's a look inside as well. This is the new S5, this is the S3. I also want to mention they are working on an extension arm for this that you see on all the professional follow focus units. And it should be ready by NAB, that's what I've been told. And I think that would make a perfect addition and just round this thing out. Though I don't know the price, I can't imagine it's going to be too much considering what we're getting for $299 right now. There's not much more for me to say. The S5 is a great unit. It's a steal at $299. If anybody's thinking about a new follow focus unit, especially a dual one, I'd jump right on this. I was getting ready to buy the Tilta, and I think it's $1,000 or something like that, and that's just the one side follow focus with the extension arm. And you know, what is this one up to? $299 now? Still a great bargain. I'd go for it in a heartbeat.